In becoming part of this organization, I felt like I not only found my cause, but also found a group of people whom I now consider my Changing Tides family, or my CT family. It amazes me that our small organization has grown into something so much bigger than all of us, and that our circle of impact continues to expand. I am so proud that Changing Tides was able to outreach to over 27,000 people this past year through community events and speaking engagements, therapy stipend programs, podcasts, and social media outlets.
You know, Changing Tides is actually one of the few programs that are entirely privately funded. All the incredible work that they do is only possible through your support. And so thank you again for that.
Carolyn, thank you so much for having us back here once again. The theme for this year is Upstream, and it really sort of describes this post-pandemic journey that so many of us have been on. And when the tides get rough and the waves start crashing around us, we wait till the waters get calm and then we swim again. Or we propel ourselves forward.
So my favorite part about working with Changing Tides is hearing other people's stories and providing an open space for conversation. Mental health struggles can be really isolating, and people approach the topic in a bunch of different ways. I love being able to contribute to a wide range of events and programs that allow people to approach mental health in whatever way they feel comfortable with.
One of my favorite programs of Changing Tides has been CT Stream, the mental health therapy program where young adults ages 16 to 29 can receive up to 10 therapy sessions for free. Since its launch 1 year ago in November of 2021, 64 youth and young adults have or are receiving therapy from culturally sensitive AAPI therapists. Of these, 34 have completed 10 sessions and 30 are working towards completion. So, in creating CT Stream, we have been able to create a mental health initiative that reduces these barriers and improves access to mental health care.
When the pandemic started, I began singing more and teaching myself piano as an attempt to cope with the anxiety and depression that was growing. Then in January, my roommate brought home a guitar and I started learning some songs that I had no business learning as a beginner, and this song in particular took me 5 months to learn. It can be terrifying and even traumatic, being alone with yourself, and on top of that, being vulnerable and honest. And so by letting someone else's story flow through you, you can create that 1 degree of separation and give yourself permission to feel without judgment. Feel what you're too afraid to feel directly, and be comforted by the fact that you're not alone. Someone has come out on the other side and provided you with the light at the end of the tunnel. With the conviction of the woman you made me, I find.
So my name is Paul Goodman, and I am a filmmaker and a 2-time cancer survivor. And these two things, being a filmmaker and a cancer survivor, they're really the same thing. For me, they're almost inseparable. I was a filmmaker before I got cancer, but I didn't really begin writing or producing or directing until I got my first diagnosis at 25.
I'm a body of water. Jeweled in the evening, a solitary dog.
I would write scripts while doing chemotherapy in the hospital. And then when I would get discharged, I would go shoot them. In the first year, I didn't do any of that though. In the first year of chemotherapy and cancer treatment, it was really intense. As a 25-year-old, you just don't understand mortality. You know, dying is more of a theory, according to statistics and probability. You know, I will most likely die one day. I would do chemotherapy for 3 years, and in that time I made 3 short films and a feature film.
It each blade of grass was meant here for me. Split apart, sliced and wedged in for me.
I sought out the treatment that had been working for me, the one I could control, and the one that gave me hope for the future. I started writing. I was discharged from the hospital in April of 2021. Couldn't get up the stairs or go down the street. But every week, I could go a little bit farther. And by November of that same year, I was on set of the biggest movie I've ever directed, with an ensemble cast of Oscar winners and Netflix stars doing a story about a Japanese-American family who has to fight for what's theirs. This is how filmmaking saved me. I gave myself something else to define me and to make a plan for the future.
I am an ocean, I don't need to barter. I play with the moon, my only friend. It pushes, it pulls me, I don't pay the rent. I don't need the walls to bury my grave. I don't need your company to feel saved. I don't need the sunlight, my curtains don't draw.
And I look at the way my dad grew up and the way that I grew up and the way my son Kevin, who was 23 when he passed, okay? He had just graduated from college and he had two passions in his life. One was his girlfriend that they ended up breaking up during college. The other one was baseball. So he lost his girlfriend and they broke up sometime in the beginning of the year of his freshman year. And then he ended up getting cut from the baseball team, basically. And I remember when he came home after he graduated, and one of the things he would tell me is, I'm lost. Because he didn't have a passion in his life. I listened to Paul. Paul's got passion in his life. He has something to work for, something to live for. And that's really important.
Leave me alone to the books and the radios to know.
You know what? One of his things was that he wanted to make it so that people could talk about having mental illness. People can talk about having diabetes, high blood pressure, cardiac problems. Why can't you say, I have mental health issues? Why can't it just be a tabletop conversation? Why does it have to have such a stigma, right? So I think my goal here is to empower you, all that are here. As much as I think Changing Tides is an incredible organization, does a lot of good, I think the key is to empower you. You can make a difference.
Well, our theme this year is Upstream. The gratitude expressed last year is stronger than ever. To our planning committee, we thank you for making today possible, from meetings all the way back to September and all the way to today. To my fellow CT crew members, thank you for all your contributions to everything that Changing Tides is, not just our event here today, but for everything that we have accomplished and that we will accomplish. Changing Tides can only do so much with just us behind the scenes. And as Ned mentioned, it takes all of us. So those of you who show up to our events, you tell your friends about our work, and you seek to listen and learn about mental health, you are why Changing Tides is as special as it is.